Kathy Tsaples is here to cook me a delicious meat pie. But don't get it confused with the Aussie style. This is Greek style.
Very Greek style because we're going to be using phyllo pastry.
Oh, I love meat pies, any type of meat pies. And we've already started frying off some onions for the filling.
That's right, Justine. So what I'd like you to do to that is add your mince and break it down. So we've got a nice hot pan here.
Okay.
And while you're doing that,
Yes.
I might start making the phyllo pastry because working together is always a good thing, isn't
Oh,
it?
and you know how much I love cooking with you in the kitchen. I learned so much. And just like you, it's those home-style dishes that really get me excited.
That's right. Simple, humble ingredients, easy to prepare.
Now, talk to me about phyllo pastry. When you do go and buy it from independent grocery stores, from your shop in Paran markets, I love that
Yes.
sweet Greek. You can
Thank
find
you.
this phyllo pastry. What are the tips and tricks to making sure you use it the right way?
Well, the number one thing to do is as you take your phyllo pastry out of your box to use a tea towel to cover it. That is the most important thing. We don't want this phyllo pastry to dry while we're working.
Okay. And you don't want a really wet tea towel because if
No.
it's too wet, all of these gorgeous little layers here are going to stick together. And you're just using some butter there.
Clarified butter, because the other tip for phyllo pastry is that the milk proteins are its worst enemy. So if you use the milk solids, they make the pastry go very blotchy and brown. So, Justine, I think you're getting some lovely colour there at the moment. Just add your paprika at the moment, allspice.
Ooh, allspice. You use a lot in Greek cooking.
I use allspice in pretty much all of my meat dishes.
It is one of those fantastic spices. Allspice, you think it's a combination of different spices.
Oh, it's delicious.
But in fact, it's actually a berry. When you do taste it, it tastes like all these individual spices like cinnamon, nutmeg, cardamom also.
all of those things. Justine, just add a tiny pinch of salt at this point because we're adding some cheese and we're also adding olives, all of which are slightly salty.
Yep.
And so let's just do a little bit at the moment.
Just a tiny bit. And you've got some gorgeous lemon thyme here.
So we've added the allspice. The lemon thyme's going to add freshness. Just delicious, just delicious. That looks ready now, Justine. I think if we just turn that off, and what I'll do is I'll get you to add the lemon zest and the pitted olives. While you're doing that, Justine, I'm going to move on to the phyllo pastry now and work with that.
Okay.
So I'm going to butter my pan just a little bit.
And we should note here, you're using a pan that goes on the stovetop and also goes into the oven because you're cooking this in two ways.
That's right. We're going to start it off on top of the stovetop. Because it allows us to brown the pastry underneath very quick and easy, and then we're going to finish it off in the oven. So, Justine, what's important here is that I've actually not just taken the pastry and layered it phyllo after phyllo. I created almost like a star pattern. It's about 5 sheets so that we can actually fill the entire tray. Generously buttered on the bottom of the pan, then make sure that these pointy tips are generously buttered as well because we don't want these to dry out, not at this stage while our meat is cooling down.
Kathy, that base looks fantastic. Lemon zest is in.
Lemon zest is in. Now, if I could also have the herbs for a minute, what I'd like you to do now is add the cheese to this mixture.
So tell me about the cheese that we're using here.
Yes. Now, this particular cheese is what we call vlachodiri, and it's a lovely sheep's milk cheese.
Ooh. I'm going to have a taste of it. Oh,
isn't it delicious?
Delicious.
So we have 3 cheeses that I'm going to talk. We have kaseri cheese, which is a lovely, nutty, soft sheep's milk cheese, and we have the kefalograviera that everybody's familiar with because we make saganaki cheese out of that one.
Yes.
And this vlachodiri cheese is in between the two of them, so it's not as salty, which is why I like to use it, and it's a great melting cheese. And it'll act as a bind for this meat.
It almost tastes a little nutty.
Nutty,
Yeah,
lovely
it's a
nutty flavour.
Very nice cheese. So 3 eggs, and I'll give that a whisk.
Just a little whisk, yep, that's it. Break it, doesn't have to be perfect. Into the meat mixture, stir it quickly, and then we're ready to go.
Okay. I've never added some olives to a meat pie and cheese like this, so I'm just very excited about this one.
And now we're going to add the herbs.
Okay, I can
because
do
they're
that for
ready
you.
too. We add the herbs at the end because we want them to be nice and fresh and that the aroma of the herbs come out.
So much mint is used in Greek cooking.
Correct.
Yeah.
Mint and parsley.
Yes.
Justine, let's pop this in here. We're ready now.
Okay.
In it goes. We spread it out evenly. Beautiful. Look at that. Beautiful. I'm going to just spread it out evenly. And once you've done that, we're going to scrunch up some phyllo like this.
Okay.
See that? And as I go along each one, I'm going to just drizzle it.
Ooh, with lots
Generously.
of butter. With phyllo pastry, butter really works. Clarified butter in particular works so nicely.
Absolutely.
And I just love the texture of this phyllo pastry.
Yeah. That's it, we've done that. We're going to now drizzle it with the butter as well on top like this. Now, remembering that this is going to be the top of our pita, so we want it to be nice and golden, so be generous again. Just dabbing your butter at this point onto the pastry is good enough.
And when Kathy says pita, it's not just pita bread. Pita means pie.
Exactly. That's how you say it, Ingrid. It is a pita. Justine, while I'm tucking this phyllo pastry in here, could you please sprinkle the top with nigella seeds,
Yes.
some oregano, and a little bit of salt?
Okay, nigella seeds. I love the flavour of them.
Absolutely. This pita is packed with flavour.
And more butter, of course.
As you're doing that, yes, I'm checking out my little dry bits and dabbing some butter.
Yeah, and you're going to see this side of the pie. So naturally you want it to be golden, and that's
Pretty and golden. Put on top of the stove, Justine, and let's get it started.
All right, so this is very interesting. Why are you popping it on the stove first before the oven?
What I want to do is help this pita, the bottom of it, crisp up quickly. And we want that lovely, crunchy element on the bottom.
So this only takes a few more minutes.
Yeah.
Then this goes into the oven, 175 degrees for how long?
Oh, depends again on your oven, but I probably would say about 40 minutes or so.
Sounds good, Kathy. Kathy, this looks so good. Look how golden it is.
Isn't it just crispy, crispy pastry? That's what the butter does on the phyllo pastry. And as you can see, it's golden. Let's just get it out onto our wooden board. Slide it out.
Carefully.
There we go. Slide it out.
Oh, wow.
See, I just want to show you, Justine, by cooking it on top of the stove as well, we've got this beautiful crispy pastry there. Look at that, you've got it. Oh.
It's almost blistered too,
Yes,
which is
correct.
what you want.
Yes.
Wow, I love that pastry. Very
Isn't it
good.
delicious? And the butter is what adds all the flavour. So we're going to cut this up now. Hear that? Crunch, 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 crunch. And we're going to serve it on our plate, Justine. And then add a little bit of tzatziki, a little bit of salad.
Salad, we've just got a little salad of
Simple
bitter
ingredients.
greens here. Radicchio, parsley, olives, of
Look.
course. Oh, it looks good.
So good.
When you said meat pie, I was thinking something very different to this.
It's a pita.
It's a pita.
Pita. It's a pita.
A generous dollop of
Correct.
tzatziki on the side. And look at that meat to pastry ratio, just right.
It is. It's just enough and it's just right. So I think you need to try it now, Justine.
Oh, if I have to, sure.
Why not? Let's go. Because we're hungry.
I love how you've always got the knives and forks on standby.
You know, I feed people. That's my job. I love to feed people.
You are. That's why I love you.
I'm going to try a little bit of that. I'm going to try this bit here.
Kathy, it is so delicious.
It's really good.
It's the combination of the spices that really make this quite distinct. So you can taste the allspice, the nigella seeds, the oregano, and then all wrapped up in a delicious phyllo blanket. You've done it again.
Thank you, Justine.
Thank you.
Galliorixi.
Oh.